This week, the Confederates get so desperate that they take literal college students at the Virginia Military Institute and press them right into battle. And surprisingly, it actually works out in their favor. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is Prospector Johnny. And Johnny, buckle up. It's going to be a rough week. And a rough week for the next couple of weeks. They're long. I got lots of notes.
What's going on the next couple of weeks? Are you just predicting?
I'm predicting based on what we got here.
Based on what happens, what's happened this week, you're saying it's getting tough?
Remember last week when I said Grant's like, we're going to keep the pressure on no matter what? He's fulfilling that. And it's,
the no matter what part,
it's getting rough.
Is doing a lot of work.
No matter what part is doing a lot of work. Yeah, it's not. Let's get into it, Johnny. Week's going to open up on May 13th with Polk reinforcing Johnston and Johnson taking up new positions against Sherman's advance. Remember, Sherman's marching through Georgia now, trying to get to Atlanta.
Right.
Failing to break Lee's lines at Spotsylvania, instead of doing what we expect him to do, which is the same thing that he did at the Battle of Wilderness, like Meade before would have just retreated. McClellan before would have just retreated, and that would have been the end of that campaign.
Yeah.
Not Grant. He goes, all right, didn't break it here. I'm going to move to the southeast and see what happens there. Redeploy,
if at first you
flank
don't
Lee.
Succeed, try again.
Try, and try again.
Then quit. No use being a damn fool about it.
Nope. And once again, the Union's going to launch 1,140 rounds at Fort Sumter over the next 4 days, because why not?
That's so much. That's so much. It's just... I don't know. If things go according to plan, what's the victory?
That they'll surrender at some point, but there's nothing left of Fort Sumter, so I don't know what.
Sure, and but that's what I'm saying. Fort Sumter surrenders. You got it.
Cool.
Then what?
We can't do anything with the rubble, so I don't know. Anyways, Johnny, on the 14th, Sherman is going to engage Johnson's lines at Resaca, Georgia. Delays, however, are going to make this more of a skirmish than battle. Like, he doesn't get his troops moving quite on time. Sherman is going to probe Johnson's flanks at Resaca, and he's going to gain some minor success. But again, this is more probing in a maneuver than an actual battle or skirmish.
Phrasing.
Out in the Shenandoah Valley, 6,500 troops, underneath Francis Sigel, are going to move south, facing off in a light skirmish against 5,000 Confederates underneath General Breckinridge. We have two battles going on the 15th of May. Breckinridge is going to gather recruits from the Virginia Military Academy who are gathering in a solemn review. Yeah, the college. It's a college. It's a military institute. Yep.
Children? They're using.
They're going to use. Yeah. These are.
Well, I guess not quite children. They're young adults.
Young adults. They're in solemn review for lost graduates of the program. They do this every year, and now that they're in review, it's like, hey guys, since you're already gathered up, here's some muskets. We need you to go and fight.
Remember that war stuff we talked about?
Yep, we're doing it
now.
Yeah, we need you now. He's going to throw these raw recruits and his regular forces up against Sigel's lines at Newmarket, and he's going to surprisingly win and push Sigel back. I think this has more to do with Sigel being an absolute moron than it does
maybe
those VMI troops being good.
I don't know. Sometimes just fresh boots gives a whole morale boost.
It does.
Having some young, spry, fresh out
energetic,
college kids
excited,
who have had food. They've eaten recently.
Yeah,
that
does help.
That
does help. Yep.
So credit where credit's due. You got.
They got them.
You got us.
Federals are going to lose 93 killed, 482 wounded to the Confederates, 42 killed and 522 wounded. So similar-ish casualties.
Whatever. Okay,
but
fine.
That's
I'm surprised you're even talking about this.
I know it's not, but it's
it seems hardly noteworthy because is that even 100 dead total?
Between the two, yes, it's 100 dead total between the two. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So. Just makes it.
But good news, Johnny. Over in Resaca, Hood's going to reinforce the Confederates and then advance onto Hooker's Corps. Well, Hood is promptly going to regret that decision and be pushed back. So we might have lost at Newmarket, but Sherman's taking a victory out in Georgia. With that success, Sherman sends his cavalry and his infantry division to flank Johnson south of the Ostenala River. Realizing that he's outflanked, Johnson's going to tuck tail and run and pull out his forces that night, burn bridges across the Ostenala River, and retreat towards Calhoun.
Love to see that, though, right?
Yep.
Like, you're doing it for us.
Hey, you know.
Now fewer bridges for us to burn.
Yeah, well, I mean, but we need to get across that river, so we will have to like at least make a pontoon. But
we're gonna. Is there no way across that river now?
No,
it's impossible to ford the river.
Yeah, we can still do that. Yeah, we
cut a tree down and build a bridge.
Yeah, we can do that still.
Impossible. Oh no.
No, not impossible. Meanwhile, Davis is in full panic mode, calling all available troops from Florida, South Carolina, and Georgia to rush to the aid of Virginia, seeing that Union troops are getting kind of close to Richmond, and Lee is outnumbered right now, almost 2-1. So needs what he can get, and every casualty that Grant is giving to Lee is not replaceable, but vice versa. Grant can replace his troops relatively.
Right. Oh, relatively. Yeah. No. Who cares about our bodies? Right? Fuck them kids.
Yeah, fuck them kids, Johnny. On May 16th, another battle, this time at Drury's Bluff in Virginia. Beauregard is going to throw his 10 Confederate brigades against the Federal right flank underneath the command of W.F. Smith. Smith, although being badly hurt, is going to hold the line. The Union left underneath Gilmore is going to fight an indecisive battle, with Butler thinking that the line was too threatened and then withdraws. Thanks, fucking Butler. You didn't need to withdraw. We held our own, but sure, why not?
He got scared, though. He got scared.
You know. And holy shit, Johnny, did Butler's inept plan to take Petersburg fail. Now, to be fair, he never got the reinforcements that he was promised, but still, like, fuck you, Butler.
Doesn't help.
Go steal some gold down in New Orleans again and buy some more Gatling guns, I guess.
I'll take more gold.
Yeah, well, yeah, fair enough. He is going to pull back to Bermuda 100, losing 390 killed, 2,380 wounded, and 13,900 missing. The Confederate losses are 355 killed, 1,941 missing, and 1,941 wounded, and then 210 missing. So again,
is somebody keeping notes? These are so many numbers.
It doesn't matter. Similar-ish casualties. All the battles so far this week have been similar-ish casualties, but again, the important thing to note is the North can replace their numbers.
Sure.
The South.
Can we get a totals update at some point in the next?
Oh, God damn it! Yeah, I can. It's gonna be. Give me weeks to because that's so fucking much.
Yeah, I would love all of this tallied up.
Definitely above 100.
Be very specific with Confederate numbers.
Oh, I'll try my best, buddy.
We're specific.
We're well over 100,000 at this point, total casualties. On May 17th, Johnson is going to attempt to set up a new line at Adairsville, but with pressure in his front by General Thomas and outflanked by Schofield and McPherson, Johnson again is going to tuck tail and run away. It's going to be a theme for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, that seems to be a good strategy.
Just keep running.
He's employing.
Just keep running.
Not this time.
Over in the Overland Campaign, a.k.a. the Wilderness Campaign, Grant continues to push southeast, redrawing up the new battle lines. On the 18th, Sherman's forces are going to engage Johnson in a skirmish around Kingstown and Pine Log Creek. Meanwhile, Grant's forces underneath Hancock and Wright are going to lead a dawn assault on Lee's left, mainly against Ewell's heavily entrenched troops. Several charges are going to prove that those positions are too strong, so Grant says, fuck it, and shifts his whole line again down to the left, threatening Lee's right flank. Just keep moving. Screw it.
Yeah. Might as well, I mean... there's
hit him here, it didn't work. Move. Hit him here, it didn't work.
Just
move.
Keep on keeping on. It's
and
insanity.
Johnny, this is going to get really interesting here, and I want you to. We're going to have to tread some light ground.
Interesting in what way?
Well, we're going to. I might get. I'm going to report this. I hope I don't get arrested. The New York World and the Journal of Commerce, these are two newspapers in New York, are going to publish a false claim that Lincoln calls for 300,000 more troops. Lincoln hasn't called.
Wait, hold up. A false claim?
Yeah, it's a false claim. Lincoln actually hasn't called for 300,000 more troops.
These are New York City tabloids.
Yes. An outraged Lincoln...
Make up fake news.
Yep. An outraged Lincoln over the New York World and the Journal of Commerce is going to have the editors, proprietors, and publishers arrested and the offices occupied by military forces.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I 100% back the president in this this matter here.
It's the right move.
This
is the right move.
It's really the only move. Who goes out and makes up things like that?
Yeah.
You know how dangerous that is in a time of war?
Yeah. It'd be like making up claims that
you know
Lincoln has had 2,000 political prisoners arrested without the rights of habeas corpus. That would be crazy to say something like that. It'd be like saying Lincoln has he's had newspaper offices shut down and dismantled because of claims about the war that were false. That would be crazy. We can't have that. It'd be like claiming that Lincoln has set up a community in the Ilovice Islands, where the slaves were, free slaves were supposed to go and create their own community outside of the United States, but then he allowed a slaver to set up that community for him, and it turned into basically slavery under a different name. That would be crazy to report a story like that. That would have never happened. Yeah.
No. You know what I'm hearing is a whole lot of stuff that, boy, I hope that he does something big to get remembered by, because if not, he's going to have a whole lot of stains on his name, and maybe he will not be remembered fondly. Yeah. So, I mean, unless he does one big thing and then dies tragically, I don't see how this turns out positively for Harry Lincoln.
Yeah.
But
keep up the good work, Lincoln. Keep up the good work.
See. We'll see
the newspaper editors are going to claim that the fraud was perpetuated by the stock market manipulators, and it was all their fault. So
what?
I don't know why calling for 300,000 troops would fuck up the stock market, but sure.
The stock market's made up and needs to be banished immediately. What is this?
It really does.
That sounds like just bullshit.
It does sound like bullshit. Johnny, the week's going to end on the 19th with author Nathaniel Hawthorne. I don't know, name might sound familiar. I've read a couple of his works. No, not you. All right, well, Hawthorne, he's going to die in his sleep. I just thought it was noteworthy because he actually is kind of a relatively famous author. But yeah, he's just going to die.
I'm sorry, I'm making jokes, and he died?
Yeah, he died in his sleep, yeah.
Well, God, tell me this before I'm a dickhead. Just the R.A.P.
Just in his sleep. Like, it was peaceful. Like, it wasn't like,
Nate. R.A.P. Nate.
Didn't take a bullet to the face or anything like that. He just peacefully passed away in his sleep. Johnny.
Still, it's easy.
It does, yeah. The week is going to end with the conclusion of the Battle of Spotsylvania, with Lee ordering Ewell's corps to the left of his line to move on to Spotsylvania to see if Grant's forces were moving. He does in fact find out that Grant's forces.
Are you testing me to see if I'm paying attention? Spotsylvania is a made up place.
No, that's a thing in Virginia.
That's real?
It's real, yeah.
Where?
He does, in fact, find that Grant is moving southeast again, but that was at a heavy cost of fighting where Ewell has to pull back and loses a shit ton of troops that they could not afford to lose. So, way to go, Lee.
Good thing we can afford to lose our troops.
Total for this series of engagements that we call Spotsylvania, the Federals are going to lose 2,725 killed, 13,416 wounded, 2,258 captured. That is pretty substantial. But the Confederates are going to lose 1,515 killed, 5,414 wounded, and 5,578 captured. So the Union started out with 110,000 strong. Lee had around 50. So those numbers affect one army a hell of a lot more than the other, percentage-wise, and one can replace them, and the other one can't. Final note, out in Georgia, Sherman's going to push...
I'm sure all of the mothers and fathers receiving letters from...
Yeah, I know, I just,
Not even President Lincoln anymore. It's got to be just some secretary type.
Dudes like me, just like...
Stamping that. Yep. I'm sure that will bring them solace to know that at least more other Americans died than the good ones.
Well, not even more other Americans. It's just that those other Americans' lives cost the enemy a little bit more than it cost us.
Which, great.
Yeah. There's no way that Grant is going to be called a butcher for any of these actions.
No. Grant, no.
Out in Georgia... Yeah, he's a good guy. Out in Georgia, Johnny, Sherman is going to push an assault by Johnson's forces, resulting in Johnson yet again retreating towards the Etowah River this time. So, tucking tail, run away. We're going to have to wait till next week to see if Johnson retreats some more. Spoiler, pretty sure he does.
Bet he does.
He does. That's it for this week in Civil War in Hindsight. If you enjoy Civil War in Hindsight, check out Historic Hindsight. We do all kinds of fun things. I've got shorts. Some of them people enjoy. Some of them people do not enjoy. There's some about guns. There are some about Civil War related events. There's some about World War I and II related events. And there are some where you get to see Johnny and me with our shirts off.